Good evening. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I just came from the gym and I have my little boys back there. But tonight, I need to do a follow-up. Excuse me. I have to do a follow-up on this Brittney Griner, Paul Whelan situation. And I think that for me, it's pretty upsetting that I need to be able to address this because they're making all due respect, a major brouhaha about this. And for me, I've seen quite a few things that are going on in the holidays as well. But I just want to be able to share some things with you guys. Hopefully I'm on live here. So we'll see how it goes. Well, we should be live. Yeah, we are. Cool. So, just want to be able to share a couple of things with you guys and I've seen and put things in perspective, right? So what's the big thing with Brittney Griner? It's popularity. No offense, but I need to bring something to everyone's attention, right? We got a major situation back over there in Russia. We have somebody that was released, 1-for-1 trade from somebody from Russia that deals with weapons. Is known for that, and we couldn't get one of our fellow veterans, regardless of the nature of what's going on. And I think that for the most part is that, don't get me wrong, nobody should be in prison. Nobody. But when you have somebody that plays professional basketball, that her father was a military person, right? Active duty in the Air Force. And for somewhere around her life, she lost a sense of direction and managed to be a professional basketball player and denounce, United States and why the national anthem is. And then all of a sudden, karma has a funny way of teaching people what's going on, as far as be careful what you wish for because you just might get it, right? She finds her ass in a situation because she told on herself because she likes to smoke weed and hashish, knowing she's in a different country. So her ass got locked up. So all of a sudden now is a come to Jesus moment. She's asking her wife, which I have no problem if she's a lesbian or not, to reach out for the president. I enjoy my freedom and everything else, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. But the biggest thing that bothers me when I'm listening to this on ESPN tonight is that how is it that she is learning how to cope back into society after 9 to 10 months? Where we have military people that have been on multiple deployments. They've seen combat. They've had a hard transition, right? And we're denied the opportunity to get the same treatment that Brittney Griner is getting. I'm at a loss for words for it because ESPN is making a big thing about it. And pretty much everybody's coddling to it. In all due respect, right? I'm not one to be, this is not a racial thing. This is not a gender thing. This is a principle thing. How is it that one particular celebrity can change the direction of what she wants for a one-to-one trade, utilizing, all due respect, the administration of the United States with an active, serious, deadly, high-profile hostage gun dealer that targets Americans to kill them? And we have a Marine, regardless of what he's done, he's earned the title, he signed a blank check, he did some time in the Marine Corps, regardless, he's been there for 4 years. So help me help you understand what's going on with that. I really don't understand why everybody is jumping on the bandwagon, especially in, you know, the month of December, holidays, right? This is the highest rate of suicide that's ever happens in the holidays. As I posted before, you know, if you got issues, you want to hear somebody talk, or, you know, I'm there for you. You want to sit there and have a beer? I'm there for you. You want to have some coffee? I'm there for you. But here's the thing. We're living in a double standards society where we can find multiple resources and enough reasons to produce the results of getting a hostage, American hostage, back to the United States because the person plays basketball, right? I don't want to hear that minority color stuff. Everybody in the military is military green. Dark green, white green, Asian green, Hispanic green, we're all green. So help me understand what seems to be the issue. And I was pretty upset about it, and I needed to share this, you know, as a narrative for all you people out there on this virtual town hall. So moving forward, if you like this episode of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it. I want to personally thank LinkedIn Perspective for giving me the opportunity of this platform of broadcast podcast. LinkedIn Perspective is also on YouTube. Subscribe it. So if you're interested in that, please share it, like it, tag it. But today I'm going to be talking about, you know, with all due respect to the Public Safety and Trust Committee of LinkedIn. This is not about the government. It's formulating a town hall to be able to express the concerns of what's going on with our nation's finest. How is it that we can get someone out here within 9 months and we can't get somebody that's been there for 4 years, who served in our country? Regardless if you got a bad conduct discharge, whatever the case, he went to boot camp and he earned the title of the United States Marine. So everybody, and I say the newscasters are sensationalized. Oh, she's having a hard time coping. She had to cut her locks off. She had to do this. She had to do that. She's taken to a army base in Fort Sam Houston. What about the veterans that are having the same issues? What about the veterans that are having deeper issues than she does? What about the veterans that are on the veterans crisis line that are constantly reaching out because they can't handle society? What about those veterans? What about the veterans that are homeless? What about the veterans that are jobless? What about the veterans that are having domestic violence issues with their families and everything else? What about the veterans that are Goldstar family members that are having these issues? What about them? We've forgotten all those people that are significantly involved with the government. So my question to you, ladies and gentlemen, is it safe to say that we won something and that we as a nation did an even trade, to get somebody popular demand when we have a Marine out there? It's not a former Marine, he's a Marine. He earned the title. I have to say that. He did something wrong, but no one's there to judge people right there. And I want to be able to understand quite a few things, right? I don't understand the logic behind it. Help me understand that for a number of reasons. As an advocate for veterans and veterans' rights, also an advocate for workplace violence and a toxic work environment, we live in such a woke society that we've forgotten the sense of humanity in a number of ways. So for the veterans itself, right? I'm a CEO for a service-disabled veteran-owned business. I think I've earned that title to be able to voice my opinion. And I think that a lot of people should be able to voice their opinion as well, to understand that quite a few things need to be addressed, right? It's too convenient to get somebody out there to say that we won something. Meanwhile, we have somebody left behind. Our mantra in the veteran community is no man left behind. the government is leaving them a veteran behind. I don't care how you put it. He's an American. So what constitutes the right of passage? The person that plays professional sports that can leverage her advocacy through higher networks to be able to do that. Let me see who I got here. No problem, brother. I think that for the most part, we need to understand that we have our priorities mixed, right? Here we are in the holidays. Suicide rate is up. There's a guy that committed suicide. He's 40 years old. He was in the Ellen DeGeneres show, unexpectedly at 40 years old. So, during Christmases, I got the jiu-jitsu mem up there to, good Santa, bad Santa, whatever the case may be. It's just nothing violent, but just to be able to change the narrative. I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, what is it that you see that's wrong with this Brittney Griner, Paul Whelan situation? I can never see her playing basketball again. Knowing what she said and knowing how she pleaded her case and how other people joined the bandwagon, don't put race into it. Don't put race into it. Don't put gender into it. Because I can tell you, in the military, we got it's like a whole bag of M&Ms and Starbucks. We have everyone that's different flavors and sizes. And the other thing is, when a veteran dies, there's no color barrier. When a veteran comes back home, it doesn't discriminate. So my thing to you is this. You got to really look at what's going on with this situation. How is it that American citizens can allow that and accept that? How is we as veterans within the veteran community, active duty, prior service, retired, and everything else, can look at sports and give people that perception of role model when that person hasn't even earned that title of being a role model? The person literally said she doesn't like to hear the national anthem, and we shouldn't be listening to the national anthem prior to the game. So how many veterans have died for that cause? How many? How many veterans do you see in the VA that are proud to be a veteran, that are homeless, that have no families? How many veterans do you know that are incarcerated, right? They've earned that title and signed that black check. Now, especially is how many veterans do you know are currently deported and can't come back to the United States, and they've served their country honorably, and they've been in combat deployment situations? They can't even get their service-connected buildings. But this person, for the sense of celebrity status, is flown private jet, with some negotiators through the government's expense, flown to a military hospital, given mental health treatment from a clinical standpoint from the government to be able to help her cope back into society. How does that happen with us as well? Yeah. Good morning, sir. How are you? I'm doing my best. I just want to be able to share that. Yeah. And 3 days prior, uplifting videos. Correct. I get, and good morning. And everything's wrong with it. Yes, everything is wrong with it in a whole number of reasons. And, I have the right to voice my opinion. And the biggest thing is I'm a paid subscriber. I do this virtual town hall. If you like this segment of LinkedIn perspective, share it, like it, tag it, make your comments known. Let your voices be heard. If you have something to share, let me see. I'll see if I can get my oopsie daisy. Let me see. Get in there and get this out there. My numbers, right? So we get that in there. So if you'd like to make a comment, call me at 562-286-3111. Thank you very well, sir. It's obvious that the U.S. government has let us down as a whole. We expect to swallow it, which is true, Cheryl. We're swallowing. We're taking a big pill. What that has given us and expect us to hand it fed, and it's gotten to stop to nowhere. Well, I look at it this way. I believe that it's time to, put it out there, digitally record it. As a veteran myself, making ends meet to do what I need to do. I think it's a slap in the face for all the veteran community and for the other Americans that somebody is crying wolf and got what they wanted. So hold on just a minute. I think I got a phone call here. This is Hiram. How can I help you?
Hi, I was calling from the FTL Law Firm, Employment Attorney's Office on a recorded line. How are you doing today?
Hey, can I call you back? All right.
I'm actually just calling to confirm the appointment for 3:30 tomorrow. Is that still a good time?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry about that. That was a personal call. So getting back to what I'm saying, right? I'm at a loss for words. Seriously. How does one individual dictate hostage negotiation for herself for the sake of conveniently celebrity status? Not going to go there again, race or gender. I'm not going there because you have one that's a different male and female. That's all I'm going to say. We're all equal. We all bleed the same, as I stated before in the beginning of the broadcast. So I just want to be able to share that with you. And with the holiday season going around, right, with so much rate of suicide and depression, people are having a hard time, but we just managed to negotiate a high-profile hostage or inmate to Russia, and we still didn't get this Marine back. Call it reverse discrimination, call it what you want. I call it woke society. That's the famous word of the day. We are cuddling people to show them that they're not battle tested. When stuff hits the fan like this, your character will speak out loudly than your words, right? So in this situation right here, Miss Griner, in all due respect, I don't know you, but you should be ashamed of yourself playing the veteran role with your dad when you literally, in national, publicly, TV, denounce the national anthem and you wanted to be the poster child to ensure that people the players wouldn't want to listen to the national anthem. That's what happens when you have too much freedom. You have too much freedom, and now that it was taken away, you've started to eat a lot of humble pie and crow. So the reason why I'm putting it out there today is because I got sick and tired of watching ESPN talking about the Brittney Griner situation, where we got a whole stack of messes of homeless veterans and homeless people that are way qualified than Brittney Griner. I got Paul Whelan that's way qualified than Brittney Griner. So, help me understand that. I don't know. I figured it's important that you guys get to hear that. If you like this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it, make your voices known. I believe that it's going to be digitally recorded. And I don't want to spend too much time on this rant, right? And all due respect to the government and to LinkedIn, but I believe that we need to address this. Remember, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, right? We have suicide, we have, a whole lot of things. But keep in mind, do you think it's right what's going on? If that was you, locked up in a Russian jail, and you served this country, regardless of what you did, and you were and you were left behind, how would you feel? So the government is doing the best they can. I'm going to leave it at that. Right? I'm going to leave it at that. I believe that at this point in our lives, our priorities are different, mixed signals. We are too busy caught up in ourselves. We are so self-absorbed, is ridiculous, you know. And when we're so self-absorbed, we justify our feelings with BS facts. And then all of a sudden your feelings get caught about it and you want to use your feelings as facts. As I stated before, feelings and facts have nothing to do with it. Your feelings are your feelings of how you go. But the fact of the matter is that we have two individuals, two Americans. One was in Russia longer before Miss Griner was, and he didn't come home. But the sports world is praising her as a martyr. I don't think that's cool. What about the military people that pretty much died in the line of duty or were killed in action, providing you the freedom and your freedom and my freedom of what we're doing today? What about those individuals? What about those individuals that have come back wounded, not just physically, but mentally? You know, we're all human beings. What's the difference? I couldn't even begin to tell you that. I'm pretty pissed off about it, and I'm saying it in a very calm manner because it's justified. Myself, I'm a veteran, and I believe that all veterans should be treated equally. So how does a high-profile civilian that never served the country but was a military brat decides to make a decision and conveniently ask the administration for help? I don't like it here. But you decide to fly there to play basketball and get paid for it. People don't understand that. This person decided to make some additional income when the season was over and fly to a country where we already have odds with them. And she was used as a political pawn. So shame on her for putting herself in a position to be used as a piece of material to provide some leverage to get this guy back. So they pretty much Russia put us in checkmate. Not check because we didn't get the person in. We didn't get Paul Whelan in. So my whole thing to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this, right? Probably wrap it up because there's only so much I can say about this subject. If you believe this is wrong, why don't you petition it? Why don't you make it known? Man, you got voices, man. That's why you have a right to vote. You have a right to vote, to do everything else. And the biggest thing is, well, let me get some of this pretty much. I think I got that one right there. Thank you for sharing your voice. I'm with you. I appreciate it. Heather, what's going on? We need to be caring for others. Of course we need to be caring, you know? And that's what I'm talking about. Thank you. I appreciate it. She's allowed herself to be a tool. Correct. And she should be ashamed of herself for doing that. But guess what? She sold herself. She should have never put herself in a situation that she should never thought that she would never be in. Because she was too cocky and too above the law, thinking that because she is who she is, she can do whatever she wants. So finally, reality hits when you leave the United States. Other countries don't play, and they don't like us, especially Russia. So you would think you would use some common sense to be paying attention to stuff because you can be a target, not knowing. But meanwhile, we got a Marine out there, and they've exploited this dude left and right. Paul Whelan, former Marine Paul Whelan, more or less, you know, been incarcerated for 4 years. Give me a freaking break, dude. 4 years? This lady gets 9 months? I'm in a concentration, a hard labor. I bet you now she knows what's hard labor, but guess what? She cuts her locks and she's starting to play basketball. What is homeboy doing over there? Still locked in a little cage, aging fast. I don't think that's fair. Is that your interpretation of freedom? Is that your interpretation of thank you for your service? Is that your interpretation of supporting the veteran community? You, the general public, have allowed that because you support that. Whether you were part of it or not, you're guilty by association for a number of reasons. You guys witnessed the crime. It's like a drive-by. You witnessed the crime, but you won't say anything. So what I'm doing tonight is, in behalf of Paul Whelan and other veterans that have been more or less screwed over the injustice by this government, respectfully speaking, is that it's time that we get our nation back in order for a number of reasons. It's going south every day. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, you should pay attention to everything around you because it does affect you. And if you don't think this situation with Griner won't affect you, it does, because it puts a perception on the entire United States. It does. I'm sure a lot of veterans are not happy about it. A lot of active duty people are not happy about it. Yeah, I'm angry about it. And I have a right to. Why not? I served this country. She didn't. And we can't get time. So for you, that viewer saying that I'm angry about it, I'm entitled to my feelings. I have a right. I can back it up based on facts. I can support my statement. Unless you can counter that, we can have a public debate on it. I'd be more than happy to let you chime in. As an American citizen, as an American veteran who has served this country proudly, I have every right to be upset when we have the government do preferential treatment over another individual. Whether it's a he or a she, whatever the case may be. Paul Whelan is not a celebrity. He's somebody that got caught up on some political movement, and they're using him. Same thing with Brittney Griner. So you can't tell me I'm upset about everything. I have every right to be. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be upset. So, as I stated before, if you want to debate, I'll put you out here. And I hope you're an American citizen, but you probably see it from a foreigner's point of view. I don't. I see it from a humanitarian point of view. This is what freedom is all about. I'm in my house speaking my mind. I'm not arrested. I don't have the secret police coming in here, barging in, taking me up, censoring me, right? Because I know where I stand. I can voice my opinion in a very professional but factual manner to address the general public at the virtual town hall. And as a veteran myself, I support the veterans. Whether right or wrong, you got to. If you've never served, you'll never understand. So when people say why you seem upset, that's why you don't get it. Because you never served the country. You never served the country at all. So how can you understand that? You passing judgment? That's what happens with people like yourself. Quick to pass judgment, but can't back it up with facts. Support your statement. I'm pissed because it's wrong. I'm pissed because I know I'm right. And I'm pissed because I have the right to voice my opinion. So let me see what you got here. Nina, U.S. trade a Russian assassin for basketball and playing basketball in Russia and left the U.S. Marine personnel behind. Thank you very much. You know. So with that being said, I got something. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Trump and Pence both stated that Trump presidency, we do not negotiate president. Yes, you're not mistaken. That's my point. Thank you for bringing it up, Loretta. You know? Thank you for bringing it up. It would take somebody with a fresh set of eyes to say that. I appreciate you. So, there you have it, folks. I got a guy out there in Russia locked up. His family's stressed out. Can you imagine how he's feeling? He's locked up and they left him for Brittney Griner. I know if it was me, I'd be pissed. Here I'm serving 4 years and she got 9 months. She's crying wolf and she got, they figured a way out. Even though I served in the military, I served in the military. She didn't. Her father did. So the only thing she knows lifestyle is being a military brat. And that's what she's being, a military brat. Her brattiness displayed herself in her, desperation because she didn't think it was going to happen to her. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have every right to be able to be upset or express my concerns. I don't understand that. How can you not be upset? If you live in the United States, you're seeing this. How can you not be upset about it? Don't you have a heart? Don't you have a soul? Seriously. People pass judgment all the time. Until it happens to you, then you're going to change your tune. And that's exactly what happened to her. So that's why I'm doing this broadcast, to voice my opinion and express my concerns with facts, not just feelings, but with facts. And the fact remains is this. Celebrity basketball star, right? I'm not going to play the gender thing or the race thing, versus a military veteran. Both Americans. That's how I look at it. So when a celebrity comes before a veteran, that should tell you where the mindset of the government is, how they view us as veterans, right? Casualties. We're a casualty of war. We've always been a casualty of war. We sacrifice everything to give you everything. We sacrifice our lives to give you freedom. We sacrifice our freedom to give you the lifestyle you have. This administration has sent a wrong message at the end of 2022. As for Brittney Griner, she's got something coming with it. I'm not saying me, overall, the general public, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that sees it that way. Can you imagine when she's going to go play basketball? How the crowds are going to be? When she's in public, how that's going to be? To me, I wouldn't want to be in her position. She's got to live with that for the rest of her life. I'm sure when this settles down, it's a flavor of the month, but it's going to die down. But she's going to be that person that came before a veteran. My question to you, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to witness basketball the way you witness basketball now based on this? I support the sports. I'm an athlete by trade, but let me check what we got here. Give Paul Whelan's background, bad conduct discharge, convicted felon, does really Does he really deserve being called an ex-Marine? No, he doesn't. We really have all the facts. Doing Russia's considering his past, who we know what he's up to, who did he piss off in Russia, which is a fact. Those are the facts. And by the way, I'm a combat veteran to a process. That gives me the right to express my. And brother, you have every right to express your opinion. I get you. I'm just using this as a narrative, and I appreciate you because you've earned that right. You know? Not a sports fan? Too bad. So, you know, for a lot of veterans, they have a different opinion, right? I'm just using this as an analogy. We don't negotiate, but if we're going to negotiate, it's all or nothing. That's why I look at it. Nobody's different. To the veteran that earned all this, accolades during combat, I respect you, and I respect your opinion. My whole narrative is that we're all Americans and we should be treated the same. So if you got a bad conduct discharge, he pissed people off, right? But they used him like they used Brittney Griner. But Brittney Griner came back home. He didn't. So yeah, he pissed somebody off. But that's my point. So if you like this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it. Make your comments known. I just wanted to put this narrative out there. I didn't want to go into a rant, but I just wanted to be able to express my opinion and let other people express their opinion without being judged. That's the whole purpose of having LinkedIn Perspective for a broadcast podcast. If you like it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, LinkedIn Perspective. And you can copy the link and share it. And feel free to tag anybody else as well. As we wrap up this show, think about it here. This is the most joyful month of the year and also the most stressful month of the year because there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of suicide, there's a lot of things that are going on, especially we just had somebody, his name was Twitch, and he was in the Ellen DeGeneres show. Talented guy, committed suicide today at the age of 40. Had everything, So suicide and depression does not discriminate. That's my point. Hold on just a minute. Let me get something right here. I got you. But I think that trading Brittney Griner is known as weapons data for the president against the gun show ownership. Good point. I like that. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you as well. I want to talk about the past. She took, where you go? Go ahead, Cheryl. Talk about the past. She took a drug, an illegal drug over the country. Did not want the drug in their country because she thought she can get away with it. And she thought it was important enough, so she did it. And let's go ahead and reward her for doing that. Good point. Everybody knows how stupid that sounds. What's fair is that statement. We are going to judge a veteran who fought for our country, and you people are going to bring up the past about her actions and let her into. I appreciate it. That's so, I appreciate that. So, a lot of well-point taken notes. So, as I stated before, right? This is the holiday season. A lot of people are depressed. They're suicidal. They make bad business decisions based on emotion. Reach out to them. Lend yourself. Give of yourself and give let them, be an ear, like a sounding board. Hear them out. Sometimes you just need to donate an hour of your time. So, with that said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm going to be doing another show probably before Christmas or the day after, right? And we're going to talk about it. But we're doing it on a lighter note, going to 2023. But be mindful of where the direction of this nation is, and especially how people view things. Because if you think it doesn't affect you, it does. And for the veterans and the veteran community, I continue to support you. And for those people who are having tough times in the work environment, a hostile work environment, bullying, retaliation, nepotism, minionism, I know it very well. I'm there to support you. If you have any issues, if you need some guidance, feel free to drop a line. I'll be more than happy to give you some personal experience advice at that. No one should be able to be subjected to that, especially when you're going to the workplace and it's getting out of hand. And I'm seeing a rise of that toxic work environment and bullying more and more each day. So people should pay attention to that, especially the people on LinkedIn and those recruiters, because you think that ain't happening, it is. So address the elephant in the room. It's important. You know, don't be like the river in Africa, denial, and not pay attention to it. So Semper Fi, always beside you. Again, if you like this episode of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it, make your comments known, and feel free to DM me. Peace out. Semper Fi, always beside you. Ciao.